Thanks, Chad. Well, good morning, everybody in the room and online. You're all equally welcome, however you're taking part today, whether you're in Malawi, Scotland, or wherever you are. I'm Stuart. I'm on the staff of the Scotland-Malawi Partnership. This is a co-hosted event between the Scotland-Malawi Partnership, the SNP, and our sister organisation in Malawi, the Malawi-Scotland Partnership, MASP. The purpose is really simple. It's just to bring people together who are working in sport to see whether useful connections can be made and to share who is doing what and where in Malawi in sport and to be alert to possible connections and collaborations. In a moment, I'll turn to the CEO of Malawi-Scotland Partnership, Stella Masangano, and to make any remarks of welcome that she'd like to. But just to mention that the format today is, again, going to be very simple, essentially like speed dating, but rather than one-to-one, it's going to be 1 to 20 or however many we are, with people introducing themselves. And the aim is within 2 minutes, each to introduce ourselves, our organisation, what our organisation does in relation to sport, where in Malawi we're working, and then any asks of support or asks for collaboration and any offers of support or help. So who we are, what we do, where we are, and any asks or offers. Stella, over to you. Anything you'd like to share?
Thank you so much, Stuart. As you see here, we have very nice weather. It's sunny and also very fantastic for people to do sports. So I think this event has been organized on a good day. Good morning, everyone. Indeed, we have gathered today to share knowledge on how best we can advance sports between Malawi and Scotland. As Malawi-Scotland Partnership, I believe most of you that we exist to inspire or motivate links between Malawi and Scotland, to help each other, to hold each other hands so that maybe we can improve. In this particular case, we are talking about sports, which is one of the most important aspects of life that we all need to embrace. As you are aware that we have so many youth in both countries who are aspiring to do 1 or 2 sports, maybe football, tennis, any other sports. So indeed, we are here to share knowledge and also to see how we can assist each other. So let us feel free to talk about sports. Let us analyze the challenges that we face on a daily basis as regards to sports, so that we can talk to each other, so we can assist each other to see how best we can resolve the challenges, so that we have better sporting teams. And also, as you're aware, that sports is very important, especially as part of education. Especially, I'm aware that there are some organizations that are using sports to encourage young girls, young boys, so that they can come back to school and participate in education as well as do sports. So that is it, and let me stop there. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much, Stella. Brilliant. The impetus for today, one of the reasons that we're holding this meeting today, is that we've received a visit from Richard Bennett from the Bibesi Pride Foundation. And it seemed just a good opportunity when Richard was visiting from Malawi to Edinburgh to get people together working in sport. So for that reason, I'd like to turn to Richard to begin with the 2 minutes, if you would. Over to you.
Thanks so much for organising this. Certainly at the outset, I thought we might just be 2 or 3 of us. So it's really great to have lots of people around the table here and even more joining online. I started working with Bibesi Pride Foundation 10 years ago, initially very much as a volunteer-led initiative that brought volunteers from overseas together with different communities, schools. Our focus initially, well, for many years, has been rugby. So we connect with rugby clubs, unions, federations in multiple African countries. We've worked in 11 African countries. but Malawi's always been a country that we have worked in, has been very close to our hearts since our work began. And in 2017, following some really positive interactions with communities that we've been working with in a rural part of Lilongwe, about 25 kilometers northwest of the capital, an area called Tema. So you've got sort of Mzumanzi districts, Mugwangwa. We've been working with schools and communities there since 2011, 2012. We felt that it was a positive step to set up an NGO in BPF's name, supported by the UK charity. So we did that in 2017, assembled a board. We had a small scale outreach program working in around 10 primary and secondary schools using rugby as a tool for engagement. Effectively just getting young people involved in fun rugby activities, coaching teachers, helping teachers and to become local coaches, and yeah, on and off the field, to give young people an opportunity to play sports, engage in competitions. Obviously we'd provide equipment, we do regular coach education trainings, that kind of thing. And the engagement with the international community continued. So we'd have volunteers, you know, coming in for between 2 and 4 weeks a year to spend time with coaches, teachers, and obviously the children involved in our programs, which at that point from kind of 2017, 18 onwards, we had a local or Malawian sports development officer that was liaising with a number of different schools, teachers who were delivering programs on a fairly regular basis. And then in 2018, we took a fairly ambitious step to find a plot of land, which for anyone who's gone through that process will know that, well, I guess, yeah, wherever you are in the world, it's always interesting to try and, you know, purchase a plot of land, but there were lots of lessons along the way, liaising with traditional authorities, the landowners themselves. We ultimately, as an NGO, purchased the plot of land from 6 different families, pieced it together to 7.2 acres, and then started to construct the long-term master plan over what was a 4-year build project. So we've gone through the process of constructing a community centre which has a full-size rugby pitch with posts, 2 netball courts, community centre with changing rooms, engagement spaces, 2 classrooms. There's a manager's house on site and accommodation for 30 people, which largely is to have international groups coming in to revenue generator for the organisation. But we obviously welcome, you know, Malawian and potentially in the future other African groups to come through, whether they're youngsters or coaches, etc. So that's where we are. We've started to work with an international NGO called Child Fund in our pursuit to step up our sport for development programming. So we're now doing, and we started to introduce netball in 2019, but we've formalized our programs using rugby, netball, life skills. And I noticed that it was Link Education that put a message up about sexual and reproductive health rights, and alongside, developing social and emotional core competencies. That's also, all of this stuff is integrated into our sports for development component. So that's that. We've got some clubs which we're now moving away from just saying it's club sports. We're saying it's like sport for development, the theme being clubs for development. So young people, administrators, coaches getting involved in the clubs have a chance to develop themselves personally and professionally by, you know, addressing supplementary education. So yeah, I guess in terms of offers and asks, from our perspective, it's, you know, we've always been an organization that enjoys collaboration, and I know that that's very much the essence of SMP and MASP. We've been a member of SMP since 2019, I think, but going forward, we'd really like, now that we're sort of really establishing ourselves in Malawi, the opportunity to connect with organizations, to learn and share from one another is really important to us. We obviously have a facility that other organizations can use. I know that good facilities are hard to come by often, especially in rural areas. So yeah, we'd like to just make ourselves available to the wider Malawian community, and particularly those that have an interest in sport for development. So thank you very much for coordinating today's session. Hopefully lots will come out of it.
Thanks very much, Richard. Brilliant. Sam Ross at Linked online. I wonder if we could turn to you, please. Sam, I don't know if you're hearing us okay. If you're able to unmute yourself, that would be great.
Sorry, I just missed the question. My internet's very wobbly at the moment.
No problem at all, Sam. It was just an invitation to introduce yourself and your organisation, what you do in relation to sport. You put something in chat, but
Sure.
Really keen to give you an opportunity to speak to that.
Sure. Okay. I'm kind of speaking on behalf of my Malawian colleagues who I'm pretty sure can't be here today. We work in partnership with Link. I think they're still called Link Community Development Malawi. And they've been running a program for the last 2 years called Reaching Our Goals, which was funded by Scottish Government and Comic Relief. It was part of Levelling the Field programming. And we ran that program alongside our wider girls' education work, where we support highly marginalized girls, those with disabilities, those that might be married already, those with children, those that may be looking after households of adolescent age from about 12 to 18. And we support them through a community-based learning program, but part of that was also to offer them netball as a way to improve access. And through the netball skills, we also developed sexual reproductive health and rights skills, social emotional learning skills. And we've seen that attendance improved in our classes, in our literacy and numeracy classes, as well as within the girls' clubs part of the program as well. So it was a really popular way of getting girls on board. It was important that boys were also part of that program, and it was very much based in the community. So there were community games, the community were involved in supporting the matches. And we also ran alongside it, I think the team called them Indigenous games. So those girls who didn't feel comfortable playing netball could also play other games and still learn the social emotional skills, etc., alongside their peers.
Fabulous, Sam. Thanks so much. That is great. Shupo Kumwenda, I wonder if I could turn to you, please, in Ekwendeni, speaking on behalf of Tafika, also recognizing that in this meeting, people are wearing multiple hats from different organizations, for example, Alan Lavrock might want to come in after Shupo to speak a little about his involvement with Tafika, and equally Mick James in the room here in Edinburgh. But Shupo, may we turn to you first, please?
Is it still on? Yeah, there's only one page there. I know the key's on the bottom on it.
Okay, so we'll hope that Shupo is able to rejoin, but we will hear about Tafika, even if Shupo doesn't manage to rejoin himself. Alan, could we turn to you around Banana Box and anything else you'd like to speak about, please? Alan Lavrock, I wonder if you're hearing us okay and you're able to come in and speak about Banana Box or anything else you'd like to in relation to sport.
Yeah, I'm having slightly unstable internet connection as well, so maybe that's what's hit Shupo, because we're only about 20 kilometres apart. Yes, I'm Alan Lavrock. I run the Banana Box Trust, and we have really three involvements in sport. One is carrying goods from Dundee to Ekwendeni for the bargain basement price of £17.50 per banana box size, hence the name of the organisation. The current container is in Mauritius, and I'm slightly jealous, I have to say, although I am in Malawi, which is a good thing. Banana Box, our local Malawian counterpart, is putting together a development plan And we want to work with 1,000 schools in northern Malawi and have feeding programs which include sport. The aim is to transform the whole of northern Malawi. It's a 25-year plan, and yes, when you're 68, it's quite ambitious to have a 25-year plan, but there we go. The other thing we do is working alongside Shupo, and I will say a little bit about it just now because he may not be able to join the meeting himself. He is in the meeting, but wasn't able to speak earlier. I came up with the idea of a sports academy many, many years ago, and I discussed it with Shupo, and Shupo has made it happen, which is brilliant. He's currently working with 200 schools, and he's got 5 or 6 different sports. And there are 2 advantages to this. One is that some kids are being developed to a high standard. There's one girl playing international netball, for example, and that really means she's in the top 50 girls in the world at netball, because Malawi's in the top 5. And we've got 7 boys playing in Super League teams, and one young lad, 13, who is goalkeeper for the under-15s in northern Malawi, and they're national champions. So he's been developed to a high standard. But the other thing is it's actually about behavior change. And we're finding that in particular boys who are being fed and given sports to do, age 14, under 14 boys are doing twice the national average in their exams. And part of what Ekaiweni Tafika Sports Academy is doing is teaching the children social, things like hygiene and nutrition and different things like that. So they're aiming at behaviour change. So that's our involvement in sport.
Thanks so much, Alan. Amazing results. Mick James.
Thanks. So just picking up on everything that Alan said. So I'm here representing a small charity called Zambia and Malawi Community Partnership, and on the call I have Lucy and Alex, who are working with me on a sports program. And I guess what we do is we listen to, we're working at the moment with Tafika, and we're essentially taking orders from Tafika. So they're coming to us and saying, this is what we need in order to fulfill the program that we're trying to do, and then we go away and try and fix that problem. So we're working with a consortium of schools, sports clubs, running clubs, athletics clubs, park run, a whole array of sensitive organisations to build a pathway where sports kit that's been used but hasn't been abused can get passed out to Malawi on a regular basis. So every 6 months we containerise that stuff and we send it out to Tafika Sports Academy. So at the moment we're focused on shoes, team strips, balls, nets, that kind of stuff. And these guys are distributing those in the field to the players, and the players in return are volunteering for Tafika activities. So for example, they're then turning up and they are being part of the self-grown feeding programs at local schools. So they're spending their time and effort working in the fields in order to grow food so that the other kids can actually have a meal when they go to school. So it's this idea of donating things that are then being used as a value transaction in exchange for labour that's then being planned back into the community. So it's about making the world go round. Shupo's just waiting to join, by the way. So that's what we're doing, and we partner with Banana Box to move the things out there, and we do this on a 6-monthly basis. So every 6 months we'll put 30 to hopefully 60 boxes into the container, and that's maybe 200 to 300 pairs of sports shoes and a whole load of strips going out each time, and we'll continue with that. And there's plenty of capacity in the world for that kind of stuff to move out right now. Okay.
Thanks so much. Shupo, welcome back. I wonder if you can hear us okay. We absolutely understand unstable internet connections. We have the same problem here in Edinburgh as well. But if you're able to hear us, would you like to unmute and come in? We've heard a little bit from Alan and from Mick about Tafika, but if you'd like to share your leadership perspective on it, that would be really welcome.
Thank you very much, Stuart. I hope Aaron and Mick has already said more about Tafika, and for us, Tafika, we are using sports as a tool of behavior change to young people. And by now we are registering more than 2,000 200 youth clubs and schools. And also we are having more than, now we are having more than 3,000 young people who are joining to our Tafika Sports Academy. So that's one thing which we have seen, that sports is now coming to us as a real tool for the behavior change. Now, as Tafika now has also joined the second league of Malawi, Tafika Sports Academy football team and netball team, we have done a lot, and netball team now is now in a position 1 in the region, in the northern region. So you have already heard more about Tafika, but now I'm just giving up the brief of Tafika. And now Tafika has introduced basketball, volleyball, rugby, and now also tennis. We have introduced tennis now in Tafika Sports Academy. So that's what we are doing now in Tafika Sports Academy.
Thank you, Shuko. There's such exciting work going on. It's brilliant, inspiring to hear. Mick mentioned Lucy and Alex. Lucy, I wonder if you'd like to introduce yourself, and then Alex.
Hi, yeah, sorry, apologies. I've damaged my eye, so I look ridiculous. Apologies. I have just been working for a short period of time with Mick and Shupo. So predominantly because I've got a background in running, I've been working with running shops and sports clubs to do the collections. So yeah, that's it really. Managed to get the first shipment out and continuing to make new alliances with other organizations. So hoping that that will be a regular and a growing partnership.
Great, Lucy, thanks, and I hope you make some useful connections today. Alex, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello there. Hi, everybody. I'm Alex. I'm very new here. I was recently introduced to Mick and Lucy through a connection at my previous Edinburgh running club. I'm currently based in Aberdeen. I'm currently working to facilitate a running shoe collection here, a local 10K, to be donated via the Banana Box Trust to Tafika, where they'll be distributed. I guess other than that, I'm just really excited to sort of be here and to be meeting other people and learning about the other projects that are currently ongoing in Malawi. My father has worked in Malawi on a number of projects, not in sport, but in land registry. So I guess I'm very aware of the sort of challenges, but also the opportunities in this country. At the start of the meeting, I mentioned, what we all have to offer. I guess for me, I'm soon to be between jobs. So I'm, very happy to be involved in any projects. I really enjoy solving problems. And so, yeah, I'm really happy to be here and to be meeting you all today. Thank you.
Brilliant, Alex. Thanks so much. Sounds like you've got a great deal to offer. Brilliant that you're involved. May we turn to Dalitso Muranya in Malawi online. Dalitso, are you able to hear us okay, and unmute? Perhaps not at the moment, Dalitso. Are you able to hear us? If not, we'll come back to you.
Maybe trying to.
Oh, there you are. We can see you.
Yeah, thank you.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Dalitso Molonya. I'm the chairperson of Tigwirizane community-based organization here in Malawi, Zomba. So at Tigwirizane community-based organization, as a youth-led organization, we are promoting youth sports to promote behavior change. We are promoting board games. We have local bars organization, so we are working mostly in rural areas. So it's hard to have big games that are played at local level, but we have also promoted sports tournaments where we have formed local team, netball team, as well as soccer team that are playing. We have got 4 teams that have been formed, and they always compete each other, and we are promoting behavior change through sports. When these
So I'm afraid the line is a little bit unstable. I don't know if it's possible.
Sports is an element that can bring people together. So in those having a partnership. Yeah, but thank you so much. That's what we're doing, and we look forward to work with all of the partners. And as youth, we are geared to make a change, and as far as sports is concerned. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks very much, Delitso. I think we got the majority of that in spite of the line being a little bit unstable, but you've shared some information in the chat function as well, which will be shared after the meeting. So an opportunity to follow up with colleagues there. Patrizio at Play Soccer Malawi, may we turn to you, please?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Patricio Kuremeka, CEO and founder of Play Soccer Malawi. We use Play as the main engine, and at the moment we are using soccer as a vehicle to reach out and also to build up low costs too, that brings up children from the age of 3 to 18 years. We've got 3 pillars, which we have got health, social, and the main sports. We can go for football, netball, and what have you. But beyond the game itself, we weave and bring up physical, healthy, and social skills to an individual. And also, in the meantime, we've got 12 districts in Malawi, Blantyre as a headquarters, where Football Association of Malawi is hosting us since 2005, and the first chairman was Walter Nyamirandu, who happens to be the president of Football Association of Malawi. But at the moment, as a program, we have used more of soccer, and also we've reached out to close to 100 students who are now graduates in various universities. And these are the main people that have also taken the same program, repackaged the same program into the 12 districts. I'm excited to report that we have also reached out to Chizumulo Island. And in the 13th district, it's now Nsanje, where we are looking at Cyclone Fred effects, where we are using Play to bring up the children, to empower the children. But also we discovered that there's also a challenge where everyone else is focusing on the adult, but now we are using the same Play, like I indicated earlier on, to empower, but also to assimilate a child holistically to see how best we can use Play by engaging him, but also participating into him to prepare him also for school readiness. So in short, this is what we are looking, Play as a tool to engage the parents in the healthy, which we call it Play for Health, but also we have got Play for Goals, which is also a program that is aligned to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, using the 5 Ps, which is people, planet, partnership, peace, and also the issue of prosperity. When you analyze on that one, you find that there's an element of education. But also we discovered that within the same areas, there are some gaps, which we are now promoting to come together. And I'm excited hearing of the successful stories in different partners that have already presented. I see this as a unique where we need to stand up and promote the Play, especially that in absence of the program, in the especially the PE, which is not encouraged in school. I'm happy to say this time around, the Play Soccer program through the PS of Education, they have accepted us to partner using Play so that we can start building the children between the age of 3 to 5, but also to help in supporting the mother into Play. So this is one of the programs that we are still discussing locally and global partners in Scotland, that they ask us to bring up science into the Play. Hence, we are using this play to build up on the health issues to see how we can prevent diseases. And that's why, as I'm talking to you, we've got one Dr. Namatanga, who's at the College of Medicine, who's helping us to put up a package, which we'll share with partners to see how best we can use this as part of addressing some of the society problems, like in the case of cholera that we've had. And I want to also to report that where we have implemented our program, like in Dirande, we had no or few cases of cholera. Hence, this has been also one of the deprecating, but also a process which is also contained into our 48 weeks curriculum that was designed and is ready to be shared to any partners that they can look at our curriculum. And also we have also contributed to the national teams. I'm happy to report that Toera Vinkumbo, who's now in UK playing for Frames, the women team, but also Queens. She's one of our products, and we have also contributed more coaches, plus the program itself from 2005 to date. We have received a global award, a social responsibility award from the International Olympics Committee, giving us also a role that we are able to change, but also to contribute to to low income communities using football. And also we've got a project that we are running in Chizumulu, which is part of the fish project, which we want to come self-sustainable. And also we are looking at issues of land harvesting. Our own graduates that are at Bunda College are helping us to design different programs so that we become self-sustainable. But also let me thank the Scottish partners, especially those that have helped us with strips that we have been receiving since 2009. And also we have joined up the street football that has helped us also to take the best of the students, teachers, and everyone else that has participated into the program. So in short, we found the program of the Play for Fun, Learn for Life Sciences as a unique and also a program that is changing into Malawi and also is contributing towards Malawi vision, especially the change and also the issue of human capital investment. So in short, Play Soccer is glad to report as we go down in the Fred cyclone to donate equipment, especially toys, that we want to help the children to play with and also to prepare them back to school. So this is what I can just report in short to say, yes, from 2005 to date, we have been in the country and we are happy that we are working with all different partners. Thank you so much for giving me this platform.
Thanks very much, Patrizio. What a power of work. Amazing. Isa Chilemba, may we turn to you, please? Isa, I'm not sure if you're still with us, and if you are, if you could please unmute. We'll try coming back to you, Isa. Richard Oweni Banda.
Hello.
Hi, Richard, go ahead.
I'm fine, and you?
Great, thank you. Please go ahead in your own time.
I'm Richard Pawim Banda, Executive Coordinator for Community Support Against Climate Change here in Malawi. Yeah, Community Support Against Climate Change is a youth organization which is trying to address the impact of climate change in rural communities by involving youth, more especially girls and young women. Community Support Against Climate Change, as of now, is doing its activities in Lilongwe and Chiladzulu, and it is using sports as one of the model of disseminating messages of the impact of climate change. Mainly, we target the youth in primary school and secondary schools as well as tertiary level. Then we organize some sports such as football, volleyball, and even cricket, so as to bring the youth together. And after the sports, we started discussing about the climate issues such as climate justice, climate adaptations, and the mitigation, and also general environmental management. As of now, I can confidently report here that the past 2 weeks we are at Natural Resources College here in Malawi, where also we have some we organize some competition on a part of sports, and have table tennis, including the football. In brief, that's how I can explain about the community support against climate change and how it uses sports to disseminate messages concerning about the climate change in Malawi. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Richard. Brilliant. Sam has put in the chat, just to check, inspired by hearing of the brilliant work going on in and with Malawi, whether it's going to be possible to share contacts of people involved in this meeting afterwards. I think we should suggest working on a basis of we will share contacts unless anybody contacts us to say that they don't want their contacts to be shared. But in the spirit of networking, I think everybody involved in this meeting is wanting that. So absolutely, we will do that.
If I can just jump in there, if you go ahead and put your contact details in the chat box, if you are online, and those in the room can share that later. And then we'll take that as consent that you're happy for us to, we'll type up some minutes that we'll put on our past event page with your contact details, your organization, and a small little summary of who was in the meeting. We do have your email address, obviously through Eventbrite, but we don't want to take it for granted that we can use that data and share it. But by you putting it in the chat box, then you're kind of consenting to make your contact details available.
Super, thanks, Chad. Spiwe Zulu, may we turn to you, please?
Hi, everyone. My name is Spiwe Zulu. I'm basically a networker, and I work across different charities here in Malawi. I'm actually based in the UK some of the months. I'm based in SA some of the months, and in Malawi some of the months. Currently in Malawi at the moment. Since I came here in Malawi this time from the UK, basically, I think some of you might have come across me or know me. I also with Manage Lazarus, the guy with albinism, one of Malawian musicians. And I've been to Scotland a couple of times, and one time we came to do a show for the AGM for Scottish Malawi Party, which was amazing. With sports, I've been involved with charities. Today I'll talk about Match Foundation, but I understand Tadala she's also attending this meeting, and she is the founder of that project. The reason why I'm talking about this project, first of all, is that I know Tadala from a few years back. Tadala went to the US. She was one of Malawi's professional tennis players. And then she went to study athletics in the US, which tennis was the actual course that she was doing, but she had to do education and tennis to be able to successfully finish her course in the US, which she did really well. And then when she came to Malawi, we talked a little bit about her starting a foundation and supporting young people in tennis, in which she of course started. And the way she started it was because she's based here in Lilongwe with her husband. There is a stadium here in Lilongwe called Bingu National Stadium. It's got a lot of facilities to do with football or soccer, but it did not have a lot of recreational.
We've lost you for the moment, Spiwe. It's frozen here. We'll give you a second to see whether it starts up again. Otherwise, we're grateful for the contribution. We'll come back to you when we can, but I wonder, since you mentioned Tadala, if you're able to hear us, I wonder if you might pick up where Spiwe left and tell us about your inspiring foundation.
I think this space is outside the stadium.
Tadala, if you're able to unmute and join us, that would be fabulous.
Okay, so I don't know if you can hear me. There's kind of background noise. I'll just mute my camera. So yeah, like Spiwe just started off, I'm the executive director for March Foundation, which is a sports for development organization. And we're working here in Longwe with the goal to create safe space for young people to participate in sports, but at the same time to create a successful academic journey for them. So the idea came about with having no space for young people to play sports and particularly to be mentored. So we came in as March Foundation to enhance knowledge and skills that promotes healthy living and self-esteem, as well as create opportunities to youth in Malawi. And for youth, we're working with children from the age of 8 years old to 24 years and thereabouts. And so we just want to improve and promote skills development and welfare of young people through sports and education at the grassroots level. So playing tennis has been something, like what Spiwe was saying, something that is part of my life, and I wanted to also share with the rest of the young people. I mean, I played tennis without being sponsored by anybody, but I wanted to give them something that they can look up and say, okay, we have somebody who can help us to grow into the sport and also be their mentor. So we have 5 different programs, which is Play and Stay Tennis Program. This is where young people from around Bingu Stadium here in Lilongwe come to the stadium for tennis lessons for free. And we provide everything from head to toe, rackets, shoes, everything that an athlete needs to have. And we have 145 athletes right now. We also have an outreach program, which is Maso Patogolo. It's like Maso Patogolo, meaning looking ahead. It's a mentoring program. We have partnered with the US Embassy and the Ministry of Education. So we're going in schools to bring PE, like what Patricia Kulemeka also mentioned, that there is no PE happening in our schools. And so we bring in sports, which is tennis in this case, for students to learn and be active, mentally active. And then we bring in the mentoring program, which is a mindset change program, because as a youth leader, I have noticed quite a number of young people here in Malawi are not there mindfully thinking they can do things right. So we're trying to bring in the mentoring program, which is a mindset change, to let them know that even with a skill, even with a talent, even with a passion, they can do so much and create something out of it. And so we go into various secondary schools right now. Last year we were doing primary schools, and now we're doing secondary school. We have 11 secondary schools that we're going to this year. And another program is Sports for Mental Health. So this is a mental health awareness program where we are tackling young boys, particularly young boys, for the reason that the records on history is showing that over 70% of people that committed suicide in Malawi are boys, young boys and men. So we were trying to bring in sports in a way that can also create awareness for mental health. And the fourth one is Keeping Girls in School program. So again, tennis has always been used. So we bring in girls, have them come together, but then provide with them sanitary pads or sanitary cups, something that will be used for them to say, I will not be able to go to school because I don't have this. So again, we do research. Girls in a month will still miss school while boys are going to school because they don't have the resources. So we give them that so they can continue to go to school and not miss as much as boys are going to school, and encourage them to participate in sports, because it has, again, something that we've noticed that most girls are not being consistent in sports. Maybe my fellow people can also concur with me. And lastly, we have an after-school literacy program. This is a program that we're reaching out to all the athletes we have at March Foundation, the 145 athletes, whereby we're increasing their literacy levels, both for English language and Chichewa language. This is a reason because in Malawi, public schools are very crowded. There are about 100 or 200 people in a class. And so it's so hard for teachers to be able to reach out to every single one of them. So we provide these reading programs after school when they knock off, and they'll play tennis afterwards. So it's them, they'll come and learn how to read, how to write, how to speak, and then afterwards they have an hour of them playing tennis and enjoy and still be a fun day for them. So in short, I would say these are programs that we're running each day, every day throughout the year. But one of our biggest projects that we have right now is a school project. We are building a school for 400 children, which will be a free primary education. And we've partnered with the Ministry of Education as well. And the goal is the same, having 145 children that we've been working with. Their challenges are the same. They're not able to have access to quality education. But we're saying we'll be able to have this school, which we're opening in September, where only 50 students can be in a classroom, not more than that, so they can all get better education and hopefully be able to go to college one day. And so we're hoping that we'll be able to implement some of these programs we are implementing in various schools at that same school. We're opening in September, and hoping that we'll be able to partner with people that can support this cause as well. So let me just end it right there. And I'm so happy that I've seen Richard, because I was consulting for Child Fund as a life skills trainer for them. And I've never met him, but it's the first time I've seen him today. So I'm happy to also be in this meeting with him. Thank you.
Tadala, I'm in the long way 3rd to 14th of June. So let's meet in person.
Awesome. I'll keep that on my calendar. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Tadala. An inspiring story. 145 athletes nowadays. It's amazing. And we're aware from colleagues in Malawi of the pressures on mental health, particularly on young people. So fabulous to hear what you're doing. May we turn to Ray French in the room here.
Yes, morning everybody. My name's Ray French. I am recently-ish retired, but previously worked for 44 years in what might be briefly described as life sciences research, biochemistry, toxicology, pharmacology. And in the last 9 years of employment, I worked at the University of Edinburgh. And that job required me to visit Malawi on a couple of occasions. And like so many people, I was smitten by the country and the people, which is why I'm sat here today. I represent Strips for Malawi, which sounds like a really slick, large organisation, but it's actually me and an email address and an old car, with no small amount of support from Liam MacArthur and other members of Scottish Parliament. And the idea, which I'm hearing this morning is clearly not unique, was to supply football strip to academies in Malawi, having met originally with guys from Play Football Malawi, and subsequently also supplied strips now to Topeka and to Play Soccer Malawi. My end of the bargain, if you like, for that is to scout around football clubs in Scotland. Originally, the idea was going to be small youth clubs, schools, but large professional football clubs even got involved. So I'm currently sitting with 18 bin bags of Celtic strips in my attic. And it's very pleasing that we have the pros involved as well. I'm now talking to others like Pastor Crystal about what they can provide us with. But the emphasis on the centre of gravity, I think, should still be on smaller community football clubs in Scotland, and maybe there's some folk out there that might be able to help me with making contact with them. In terms of needs and requests and services to offer, well, obviously the service to offer is provision of football strips. The needs, which as a one-man band you can probably guess are quite significant, largely revolve around scaling up this work. I would really welcome advice on shipping. I'm currently working with Banana Box Trust inevitably, and that's terrific. It's a wonderful service. But if we're going to ship to other parts of Malawi, then I think I need to find at least complementary ways of shipping out. For example, to Blantyre in a long way. Some advice on sustainability, because I'm not very clear how shipping out a whole load of polyester shirts to Malawi actually works in terms of ultimately when those shirts to meet the end of their useful life, how they can be disposed of without too much environmental impact. And of course, I guess it's why we're all here, just identifying synergies with our clothing and where we can work together. I would say that from the point of view of dealing with folk in Malawi that I've dealt with thus far, they've been able to provide us with quite a lot of usually photographic, sometimes video feedback of the strips arriving. And that is so important when dealing with the donors here. This is stuff that they can really use. Rangers themselves, well, Rangers have already put it on their social feed, and that raises the profile of not really strips from Malawi, but just the effort in general, which is magnificent work, and it allows them to be positive feedback. And so continuing to get video and photographic feedback is critical. And I say that in part as well because as if life wasn't complicated enough already, I'm also trying to resurrect an old career as a photographer from years ago. And in the context of taking photographs of old football stadia, but that's really rather useful. It gets me into the boardrooms and the pockets of other football clubs, which I've got a connection with Parsons Thistle. So there's other ways that this thing works. So it's all a bit hand-to-mouth. It's a tad chaotic. There are people around the table here who I'm sure do it better than I do. So I'm all ears as to how we can work together to carry on this work.
Brilliant, Ray. Thanks. We know it's the power of individuals like you that make things happen, and particularly when people get together in networks such as we're seeing and hearing today. So if anybody's got any offers of support for Ray or thoughts on the sustainability question, I see that Alan mentions that Banana Box can transfer to Lilongwe as well. As the law.
Yeah, if anything, we have used. I know it's done through kindness of their hearts, basically. I don't want to, overuse that, I guess.
No, very good. We're on the hour. We're on 11 o'clock Scotland time, 12 o'clock Malawi time. So we do appreciate that some people will need to disappear off to other engagements. Thank you so much for making time. We will continue to go around the virtual room and the physical room as we've been doing to hear for as long as people are able to remain with us. But if you need to peel off, then thanks so much for coming. We'll share contact details, but please do stay on if you're able to do so. Going around the room, new friends, if you'd introduce yourselves.
My name is Ian Murchison, and we're here, I guess, with the Crucial Trust. It's a charity that we're heading out to Malawi with next Tuesday. And we're partnering with a local organisation out there called Daylight, that includes a SWAN. Tim probably knows a little bit more about the programme, etc.
Sure. So yeah, my name is Tim, and I'm heading out with you. So we're heading out for 4 weeks to the Blantyre region to do some sports ministry work. So the Crucial Trust is a Christian charity which works in Malawi, training Bible leaders and training of youth and children, and also some community work and community development work, and look at sustainability and integration in the community. And so what we're doing specifically within this is more obviously being here at the sports side of it. So looking to go into these communities and go through some sports clinics at some schools and local areas where we'll be teaching football. And we both had some experience in football here and having had all the wealth of coaching that we get in the UK. So looking to pass some of that on in Malawi, and then alongside that sharing our Christian faith as well with the young people in Malawi. We're also hosting a tournament. We're running a tournament there for local schools. And so that'll be another large part of what we're doing while we're out there. I guess in terms of, you mentioned offers and help and everything. We are heading out this Tuesday, and we have some balls and kit that we're hoping to take out, but there's still a need for more. So if there is anything like that, then that's very helpful. I guess this is probably also like everyone, and obviously you need money for these things. We are raising money, but I'm sure everyone's looking to raise money. So just if you have a particular heart for this mission, then you can speak to us about that. But yes, we're also looking to raise money as we raise funds to be able to get the mission out there. So I think those are some of the main things. Just we'd be happy to speak to anyone who's been involved in some of the things so that we can either gain from your experience or share our experience after heading out there as well. Yeah, it's good for you.
Great, Ian, thanks very much. Brilliant. We know the Caruso Trust and GeoLife Ministry as well, long-standing members, Caruso Trust, and taking part in GeoLife Ministries in various calls between Malawi and Scotland. So, fabulous. Richard, thanks so much for being the impetus for this, as it were.
Honestly, thank you so much for getting everyone literally around the table on the calls. Yeah, as I said earlier, I wasn't expecting this, but it's been fantastic listening to everyone's input, and I'm looking forward to connecting with so many organisations, and our executive director in the long way, who Tadala knows I'd love to connect with everyone else who's here today. So when we get those contacts, I'll do that. But thank you so much, Stuart and Jack. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks. Hope you have a successful rest of the day while you're other engagements.
Thank you.
Thanks, Richard. Henry, may we turn to you to introduce yourself?
Right. I didn't make this, but anyway, I'm Henry Katua. I do work with the Scotland Malawi Partnership as a forestry enterprise and administration support. But other than that, I'm also a student of the University of Edinburgh. I'm in the closing stages of my PhD in geosciences. Thank you.
Thank you, Henry. And Katia Mackley, if you're still with us and able to hear.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me all right? Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Hi, I am Katia. It's been really, really interesting to listen to all these ongoing projects. I'm also a student from the University of Edinburgh, just like Henry, but I'm working on my master's dissertation at the moment. I'm focusing on school feeding programs, but it's also very interesting to think about education a bit beyond school and listening at how sport is a form of education when you've been talking about learning skills about hygiene and social skills and behavior change and all that. So it's been very, very interesting to listen to everyone. And I'm so the school feeding program that I'm researching will be more of a case study then, and working alongside Tafika. So it's been great to see Shupo also here, and great to hear just great to hear from everyone. So yeah, thank you for organizing this today and letting me join in and listen.
Lovely, Katia, thanks so much. Charles, online from Malawi.
Yes, my name is Charles Lehman Kachitsa. I'm actually based in the UK, Manchester, but recently I've accepted to acquire a club in Malawi, and we have now changed its name to FC Lehman Panthers. The team is playing in the second tier league, which is the Chipiko Premier League. So it's just a league down the Super League. It's doing very well. But being a single sponsor of the team, the challenges that I'm facing is on mobilizing resources, including equipment, of course, the finance, just to pay allowances for the players, uniforms and the like. So I would want collaboration and also maybe some pointers as to how we can find sponsors. It's very hard for teams in a division like that in Malawi to find sponsors. I've also been involved with the Malawi national team. In fact, my PhD thesis is based on the Malawi national football team. So in that regard, I've worked closely with the Football Association of Malawi, which I still do connect with. Recently, I've been engaged with the past national coach. He's now left, but we were trying to have a project to bring some youth from the UK to go and experience what it is like to train on a pitch where the Malawi national team plays. Apart from that, I'm also highly involved in netball. I promote the team through social network, especially through Facebook. But for 3 years, I've also been a manager of one of the national team players who used to play for Manchester Thunder. So she used to play professionally. She's now moved on to New Zealand. I still connect with most of the players, motivating them and encouraging them. I'm in the netball players. So I'm involved, highly involved in these two sports, football and netball. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much. You've got an interesting range of involvement. Brilliant to hear that you're so your involvement so varied. Thank you for sharing that. Walt Adamson. Walt, if you're still able to hear us, if you'd unmute, please.
Sorry, total Zoom schoolboy error. Yeah, I'm a researcher at the University of Glasgow. I work mainly on infectious diseases and mainly on sleeping sickness. And that brought me to Malawi. I've been working for the last few years in Voaza Marsh and in Kota Kota, which are the kind of the two main regions where sleeping sickness happens, and we collaborate there with Kamuzu University. We've been doing quite a lot of public engagement work on sleeping sickness, around its prevention, testing, treatment, and all that sort of thing. And we've been using netball and particularly football as a means of drawing crowds to the events that we've been holding over there. We were over there for a couple of weeks last autumn, and we're going again this coming autumn, probably in about October or November. One of the things that I did, it was quite interesting. I didn't totally catch the guy's name. I think it was Ray French, who's in the room with you. It sounds like there's quite a big crossover with the work that I've been doing and plan to do and what he does, and I think we should talk. I've got quite a lot of football kit as a result of that donated from Scottish teams that I'm basically trying to strategize ways of getting over to teams over there and getting into the right hands, and all that sort of thing, and receiving more as well, and looking at sustainable ways of getting it across, whether it be researchers. There's quite a lot of researchers in Glasgow who go between Scotland and Malawi and can take some with them, or doing some kind of charity event even, or something like that, to raise money to get it across. So that's kind of, it's all been around, like I say, the work they've been doing has all been around like scientific research and using that as public engagement. But we've seen the value that people and teams over there have been getting from receiving the equipment that we've taken. I've also, a little bit like Ray had said, we've also seen loads of value in like teams in Scotland. They get a lot from, you know, seeing photographs and all that sort of thing from the kits. I've heard that a lot of the kit that we took over has found its way to like things like people's like pubs in Scotland and that sort of thing, that have like got photos of their pub team with strips in Malawi over the last few months. So I agree with basically with what he said. That's kind of essentially the work that we do, and it would be good to talk about people who might be interested in linking up with like receiving strips and also come up with ideas and getting it across.
Great, well, thanks. I see Ray was nodding there. Ray.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like we're living parallel lives, albeit I'm about 25 years ahead of you.
It'd be good to chat offline about this, because I think we're doing something pretty similar, and it'd be good to link up.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be in touch.
Great.
Delighted to hear that. Peter Muthetti, may we turn to you, please?
Thanks very much. Thanks very much. My name is Peter Mutete. Campus Director for Malawi School of Government. Malawi School of Government is an institution, a merger between the then Malawi Institute of Management and the then Staff Development Institute. So it is in the Blantyre, Mpemba, and I'm speaking from Mpemba campus. Now, this institution, it has the mandate of developing and delivering human resource programs, both in the public sector and the private sector. Previously, as an institution, we have been sponsoring sports in primary schools within the zone here, Mpemba zone. But we have now switched to quiz competition. But as of now, the institution uses also sporting activity as a tool for behavioral change. As I'm speaking, we have a very powerful dance club. We won the Ijenko Cup. We also won the Southern Region League Cup. We have also won the National Cup for DAS. So I've just joined in order to follow up what is happening so that I can see how the institution can partner with the sporting entities. Behind here, if you can see, there are can you see the cups?
Yes.
Can you see all the cups that we have taken? Meaning that in Malawi, we have the champions of DAS. But I've just joined in order to find out how Malawi School of Government, especially in Mpemba campus, can find a place in the sports development so that we can work together. Thanks very much.
No, thanks very much, Peter. Great to hear of the cup winning commitment and opportunity to partner there clearly. And to many, Kachuza, I wonder, may we turn to you in Malawi, please? Don't know if you're still able to hear us, in Tamani.
Maybe he's not here.
That's no problem, Stella. Thanks. Yeah. Chad, would you like to introduce yourself? You've spoken a little bit.
Sure. Just grab a second. Yeah, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Chad Morse. I joined the SNP in August as a youth and schools officer after living in Malawi from 2000 to 2020, where I was based in Blantyre the entire time, and living right next to and at Phoenix International Primary School, where I was a year 5 teacher for 5 years and head teacher for the last 10 years before our family moved back to Scotland. So in terms of sport, I'd like to say I was a strong advocate of that in terms of education. Strongly believe that you know, it provides a lot to the youth in terms of, you know, not just the discipline, but, you know, early fitness in life and so forth, and was very much a strong advocate of making sure that all the students at our school were involved, to the extent that we insisted that all the students had to run a cross-country course once a week, which wasn't always very popular, but the point was that we always tracked and actually advertised their time so that they could see improvement each week, whether it was just a bit of a quicker walk or it was a run. But yeah, I really enjoyed a lot of the sporting events that our schools participated in when I was there. So a lot of connections obviously to be made between Scotland and Malawi in the sporting arena. And as we were talking about before the meeting began, yes, the development side and the community outreach and so forth, I think it all can start with sport and, you know, bringing people together. So I'm happy to bring people together today. Hopefully a lot of you are making some contacts and sharing some good practice. And for us at the SMP, you know, that's what it's all about. If you've got one good contact today, and we'll try to take this forward with your guidance and suggestions. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Chad. Great. If there's anybody that I've missed so far, apologies. Please, would you like to come in now and introduce yourself?
Good job making your way around the room virtually.
Well, we just try going back to Isa Chilamba. We weren't able to hear you. I don't know if you could hear us, and introduce yourself, please. think not on this occasion, but we'll share contacts anyway, and perhaps be able to catch up another time. So I think we've largely achieved what we were hoping to with this meeting of hearing from everybody and the ability to share contacts afterwards. But really just to open it up for anybody who'd like to make any comments or ask questions of others or raise any discussion points. So open floor. Please just start to speak if you'd like to say anything.
Yes, I think what I'd like to do is offer to share the kind of collateral that we've got and the kind of processes that we've got for moving, for making approaches to sports clubs and to sports organisations for donations, and then also the process that we're using for moving things out to Malawi and the way that we're trying to raise funds, so all the QR codes we use and the processes that we're thinking about there. And I'd be really keen to hear from other people how they're tackling that same issue, because it's about just kind of how can you make a connection with the least friction possible for everybody, so they can give you the stuff, so you can get the shipping paid for in some way, and the thing can get delivered onto the ground.
Thanks, Mike. Brilliant. Sharing of processes, so we're not reinventing wheels. Brilliant.
Yes, I just wanted to find out, sorry, whether these meetings will be held regularly, you organize, and so how often or meeting like this, networking meeting like this be held. I think it's been useful to hear what other people are doing, and I believe also it's possible that we can work together. I've identified most organizations that they are doing, maybe focusing on the same objective. So I think this meeting is very important in that it can bring people together, but also we will be able to identify areas where we can complement each other. So the question is, how often are we going to have meetings like these organized by Scotland-Malawi Partnership?
Stuart, let me take that. Thank you. Indeed, this is, I think, way after COVID, this is the first time we are here to speak about sports, which is one of the most important elements that can propel development, as well as that can motivate young men and women to be in schools. So my view is that maybe, of course, with Stuart, we are going to brainstorm to see how often, but we need indeed to be meeting more regularly, maybe every quarter. I don't know whether that's possible, but we'll discuss and agree so that we see how feasible that is. Indeed, this meeting has been a very helpful meeting. We've seen different organizations discussing issues relating to sports, and I think there's a lot more that is happening as far as sports is concerned between Malawi and Scotland, and it is most of the sporting activities that are happening. They are not only touching sports, but they are going beyond sports, health, education, and other sectors. Probably maybe we can also see, I heard another speaker pointing out sports and climate change, which is indeed very recommendable. So as Malawi Scotland Partnership, I think we are open for any discussion. If you are from Scotland, you're coming down to Malawi, feel free to contact us so that maybe we can also maybe visit your projects, the projects that we are doing, so we can appreciate and also see how we can help, or where you can also help us. We also believe that sports is very, very important. I've been to a number of sporting academy here in Malawi. For example, I volunteered Somo Idea, which is in Chinsapo. Chinsapo is one of underprivileged communities, township, where a certain gentleman from, he's Malawian, but based in the US, he set up an academy where they bring children to play and they mentor them in terms of education-related activities, as well as they also go beyond that. They give their mothers income-generating activities. So what I'm trying to say is, sports is indeed very important. So actually, I would like to express an appreciation that a lot of us came out to discuss. Thank you so much. We will indeed discuss with Stuart SMP to see how often should we be meeting. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Stella. And yeah, just from the SMP side to amplify that, Charles, good question, and delighted that you've found the meeting useful. I think we want to just hold them as often as members feel are useful. We want to be member-led, for there to be enough time in between the meetings for the work to be done, for the useful insights and knowledge and resources to be shared amongst one another. So we'll just keep in touch, as Stella says, and have a chat and see when the next one might be that's useful to participants. Patrizio, I think you had a question or comment.
Yeah, mine is just to say thank you so much. I think through Charles and also through what our CEO for Malawi Scotland Partnership has just responded. Stella, thank you so much. I feel this is the beginning. I think 1,000 miles starts with what we have come together here. I see the potential. I see especially that in our constitution, it's silent where we are talking of play, talking of sports, and also in the Act, Education Act, you see this is not encouraged. But I think through this intervention, this meeting, this platform, we can make a difference. And I'm excited to hear also from Peter that as an institution, they are ready, and with his experience, we can make a difference. So to me, I think we need to come together, maybe through Stella, I would ask and encourage. I know I've attended the safeguarding too, where in the interest of the child in Malawi, we are missing a lot. Hence, I'm excited too to hear from our Glasgow, there was a presentation from Watt Adamson. He's the one that also asked me to say, what can I do? Can you bring science into your project? Hence, I'm excited that we are discussing with Watt to see how best we can also use the platform of play, sports, to build up issues around infectious diseases, which are preventable. And also maybe, like I indicated earlier on, is about coming together. What works, what has been tried, and what can we implement? So I'm looking at this opportunity that maybe this is the starting point. And I asked Malawian team to come together and put this flag together, either in or after school. We are ready, especially with our curriculum, I'm ready.
Thank you, Patrizio. Very well said. Much appreciated. Thrilled to hear that there have been useful connections for you as well from that. Anybody else like to make any points? Henry?
Yeah. From me, I just would like to thank every partner who is present here for the contributions that they are making towards development of soccer and sports in general in Malawi. My plea to them is that
also to share with everyone else that they have 3 levels for those 0, 12 and 13 to 18, looking at the early childhood.
Yeah, my plea to them is that whenever there is that chance, would you bring in or trickle in that element of land conservation or afforestation, because deforestation is also an issue in Malawi. I have an example of some of the organizations that have contributed on that, like the Tafika and the others that are also doing on climate justice. And being a forester, being an environmentalist, I'm saying, wow, this is the way to go. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Anybody else like to make any final comments or ask any questions of others?
Hi.
Hi, go ahead.
My name is Isaac Chilemba. I'm sorry, I was having a problem with the connection area.
No, great to hear from you. Brilliant.
Yeah,
Please go ahead.
I'm very happy to be here. Thanks to my partners, Spiwe, for letting me in. We Chilemba Boxing Academy. I am a founder of Chilemba Boxing Academy, and I've been trying for a little while to see how I could develop the youth of Malawi. So I decided to come up with this program, trying to help the kids, getting them off the streets, give them something to do, and as no one knows what they will be in the future. And on top of that is also a development of the actual current professional fighters and amateur fighters in Malawi, trying to develop them to get out there with their boxing skills. So we recently had a program in Malawi. We had a fight. Dennis Mwere fought in Malawi, and we had a program, suicide knockout suicide, trying to encourage kids and adults, those are suffering from emotional issues, and with the destruction of disaster that happened in Malawi, Freddy. And we come up with a program. We did some donations to the camps where they're keeping those who suffered the disaster. And now we are looking to get more partners that can help us financially to bring the kids, draw the kids off the street, trying to bring them to Chilemba Boxing Academy and teach them boxing. This is something that as they're doing it, they might not know where or what this is gonna take them up to, take them to, but as myself, when it comes to suicide, I've attempted suicide a couple of times in my life, and I've lived in the streets of Malawi, Ndirande, Chilomon, Bayani, and I know how life is like. And boxing is the only thing that got me out of that. I managed to get myself out of Malawi, came to South Africa, and as a result, I've seen the world. I've become a world champion and 8-time international champion. And if it wasn't for boxing, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I'm trying, with my 24 years experience in boxing, trying to take that back to Malawi and try to help the kids off the street, kids out of misery, try to teach them boxing, and no one knows where that will take them. So as for now, we are looking for partners that can help us to bring this to reality. When I was in Malawi 3 weeks ago, we had a couple meetings about the development and what we want to do, what I would like to bring to Malawi, and now we're in a process of trying to get that to happen in Malawi. I'm not sure how we're gonna recruit the kids, but once we get it started, once we open up a space where kids can come, I'm sure we'll get hundreds of them coming to learn about boxing, just life in general, and see where this is gonna take us to. So I'm really happy to be part of this, and hopefully we'll get this happen. And in the near future, we'll have Chilemba Boxing Academy going and teaching these kids. And apart from just learning boxing, it does as well teaches kids, or as a human, you learn a lot about life. When I started boxing, I thought it was just to do with the boxing, just hitting each other. But later, months, years into it, I've learned a lot about life itself. And I don't see myself going back to that life, going back in the street. Even the suicide thoughts never come to my mind, because all I know right now is boxing and try to develop myself and try to develop others. So that's what we are actually trying to do. So I'm really happy to be here, and hopefully we'll join more and more of these meetings, and something will come of it, and we'll get this happen and develop the Malawi sport.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you very much. Thank you very much.
Thrilled that you've managed to join us. Thanks so much, and for sharing something of your own story. It's inspiring what you've achieved and what you're enabling young people in Malawi to achieve with your plans for the academy. So thank you very much. That is an inspiring note to end our meeting on. And
thank you very much.
To thank everybody online and in person for taking part. And we'll follow up, as we said, with the video, the chat log, and the contacts, and then we'll be led by participants on when they'd like to have another get together. So, thank you very much indeed, and have a good
thank
day.
you very much. I truly appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.